Anchors upsells at full. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How you doing today, Kyle?
Doing all right, Jared. How
Hate week.
are you doing today?
It's hate week. And you know what? I'm not screwing around. Ryan Day, he's learned his lesson. He's not going to be timid. He's going to play his game. He's not going to screw around. He's going to do what he does every other game of the week. He's focused. He's laser focused. He's engaged. Don't play scared. And I tell you what, watching BuckeyeNation this week, the way I do, Buckeye fans are playing scared. Oh, what if? Oh, what about? Oh, don't say we're definitely going to win, because then you'll curse it. Ohio State's definitely going to win. Oh my God, did he just say? Yeah, I just said it. Ohio State's definitely going to win. Ohio State's winning this football game. Ohio State's going to the Big Ten championship game where they will place Indiana and they will defeat Indiana. I said place, I think. I meant to say play. And they will beat Indiana, and then it's time for the playoffs. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not playing scared either. Also, like, just for the record, nothing you unless a player or coach is listening to this right now, nothing you do will affect the outcome of the game. Just sorry to break your illusion or your superstition or whatever, but like your favorite t-shirt doesn't help. What I say on this podcast doesn't help or hurt. It's up to the players, it's up to the coaches, but most importantly, Ohio State's going to win this game. And I'm not going to be timid about it. I'm not scared.
I think what a lot of fans are worried about is last year. Ohio State was by far the more talented team.
That was a worse Michigan team than Ohio State will face this Saturday.
Correct, yeah. And I think that's why there's a lot of fans that's still worried, and understandably too. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, the truth is that Ohio State has not won this game in quite a few years. Michigan's won it the last 4 years here. I can understand why Buckeye fans are worried. I can understand why Buckeye fans are skeptical.
Sure. I understand it.
And we sat here almost a year ago, Jared, almost a year ago now.
Yeah. Saying
we are no longer Coach Day sympathizers. And I'm still supporting that though. There's no excuses.
Nope.
No excuses anymore.
Nope.
Still support Ryan Day and I still think he's the right coach.
Yep.
For this program.
Yep.
But there's no more excuses. None. Zero.
Correct.
You used all your Mario Men on us.
Yeah. No. But I just everything you said is correct, and I understand where the anxiety is coming from. It's not like I don't understand. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand where it's coming from. I'm just choosing not to play scared here.
Yeah.
I am simply choosing not to play scared. We asked Ryan Day not to play scared. I'm not going to play scared. I'm not going to do this podcast scared. I'm not going to, I'm afraid to say something that's going to curse the blah, 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 blah. I don't believe in curses. I don't believe I have control over the game. And I'm not going to go about this timidly. Every other podcast we have done this year, Kyle, except maybe for Texas, that was when we thought that Arch Manning was actually good. So that's on us. Our bad. But every other game this year, we've gone into Know Your Enemy with unashamed confidence. Every other time, unashamed confidence.
So let's get to know.
So I'm going to go into this game with unashamed confidence.
Mm-hmm. So let's get into this then here, Jared. Let's talk about this Michigan team here. True freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood from Detroit, Michigan, hometown kid here. Very talented. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he's a terrible quarterback. He's a freshman. Understandably, he's 62%. Only 9 touchdowns, Jared, which is what is really interesting to see here. He's only thrown 9 touchdowns and threw 5 picks here. Very mobile quarterback, has 5 touchdowns on the ground here. But I think what really concerns me as a Buckeye fan looking at the offensive side for Michigan is their offensive line. No matter who they put in at running back, no matter who they put in, the running backs have big holes to be able to get their running backs through. So it doesn't matter if it's Justin Hayes, who's out, Jordan Marshall, who's questionable. I expect him to play, or
He's
if it's
play.
Or if it's Bryson as well. Like Bryson
Kudzel.
got in there. I know he'll play. I know, but if
no, I was just saying Kudzel. Kudzel.
It doesn't matter who they put in. Like the offensive line is making the big holes, and that's a big concern that's the one worry I would have as a Buckeye fan is being able to stop Michigan's run. Because, Jared, every single year, and I mean every single year, the team who has ran the most as well has had the most rushing yards per rush, ended up has won the game. When was the last time that did not happen? Where the team who had the most rushing yards?
It's a self-fulfilling thing. I don't.
What year do you guys think it is? You, Jared, and anybody else in the chat. When was the last time that happened? That the team with the most rushing yards lost in this matchup?
I don't know.
You got to go back. Way back to the year 2000.
Okay. The team who runs better wins the game is a statistical misnomer, because the team who is winning runs the ball to run the clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's running the ball equals winning games is actually winning games equals running the ball.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. Like I understand, and you know what? Like
it's very simple. It's a very football is so complicated, but it's very simple in this matchup. You rush more than your team, than your opponent.
Hey, Kyle, I'm just
going to
gonna
win the team.
I'm just going to straight up say this. That's literally what Ryan Day tried to do last year. You're literally repeating the mistake that Ryan Day did last year, was to try to force run the ball instead of utilizing.
I'm not saying to force rush it. I'm not saying that. The team who's able to run the ball ends up winning the game. Ohio State averaged 3 yards a pop. But, Michigan did not even try to pass. If you remember, they only threw the ball 62 yards. They only threw the ball 62 yards. And that's because they were getting it done on the ground, extending those plays. And it was just demoralizing Ohio State because they could not get the ball back enough to be able to score any points just because they just a clock killer. But you know what? That's what Ohio State's doing this year. Ohio State is the clock killer right now. They are. I wish I could find that number because I remember Austin and I talking about this, I think it was just the other day, about Ohio State being like dead last in like third down attempts and fourth down attempts, but yet they're like number one or number two in terms of like efficiency and all that. But that's just what Ohio State needs to do. They just need to continue being efficient here, because if they can't, I mean, this is going to be their first time since week 1 where they're going to have to get out of their comfort zone here. But I have all the faith. I have all the faith in Ryan Day here and what he's
I have
done
all the faith in Ryan Day this
here.
year to not try to force a square into a square peg into a round hole and try to run the ball when you have the best 2 wide receivers in college football and the superior quarterback in the game.
Sure.
Because that's literally what he did last year. And that's
I think
where I know you were excited about this stat, Kyle, but I don't give a shit. Like, I think trying to make the run game happen when the run game isn't happening has been when the Ohio State offense has looked the worst this year.
But when it's only happened once since it's
a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's the team that it's not running the ball well doesn't equal winning. Winning equals running the ball well. It means you're winning in time of possession. It means you're running the ball more late, which is when you can run the ball better because people are tired. And like, if you want to get, as Esquire saying here, if you want to outscore them first and then rush them into the ground after you have a lead, cool. Because that's where that stat comes from. That stat comes from clock killing late in a game.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And getting your first downs.
Some other notes here. I think it's going to be a big factor, though. So their fullback / tight end, Max Bredesen, doubtful. Probably not going to play. He was in a boot.
That is
last weekend.
That's huge.
That to me, I think is huge. Rod Moore on the as a safety is also big.
Yeah.
As well, being out as well. Those two in particular are the big ones. More so than line, any of the running backs or anything else. It's
if Justice Haynes is special back. He's been out for several weeks now. So and he's been out for several weeks. And Jordan Marshall, who didn't play last week, but will certainly play this week, almost certainly play this week, is also really good. So like the fall off isn't that bad. But Haynes is a special running back. But you look at the stat lines, and this is where stats can also fail you. Max Bredesen doesn't mean anything to Michigan if you just look at the stat lines. Unless, of course, you're looking at the stat lines of Jordan Marshall and the stat lines of Justice Haynes and the stat lines of Bryson Kudzel, because that's one of the best lead blockers I've seen since lead blockers were phased out of the game a couple decades ago. He's a classic I-form lead blocking fullback, and he's an expert at it. Because like we're all very used to the idea over the past few years that Michigan has these big dominant offensive linemen, and I'm not saying that their offensive line's bad by any means. It's good. It's a very good offensive line. But when you saw like, because they have one of the more explosive running games I've seen in a long time. They break a lot of long runs.
They do, yeah.
And a lot of that had to do with Bredesen.
Yep.
Not having him, again, if you just look at the stat lines, you're not going to appreciate how big of a loss that is. Not having him is huge. But I guess if we're talking about injuries for a moment, JJ's going to play. I'll just say that plainly. I have all the confidence in the world. Jeremiah Smith's going to play. I feel confident, but not nearly as confident. The Carnell Tate's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good about that. I don't feel great about that. I don't necessarily have. I feel fairly confident that Elder Styles is going to play. Probably somewhere in between those two. If I'm being honest, probably somewhere in between those two. I think Elder Styles is going to play. And like, when you were like worried, like a lot of Buckeye fans were, like, why aren't we blowing out teams? Why aren't we doing big? And like, this is why. Listen to what we were just talking about from an injury standpoint. Ohio State, relative to most teams in the country, including Michigan, is a very healthy football team. I know we've been very focused on injuries lately, but as far as starters are concerned, as far as big-time contributors are concerned, you have two guys who will probably play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who you're missing from this team. Of all of your players. That's why Ryan Day's been shortening games. Straight up. That's why he's been doing it. Look how healthy this team is. When we just went over, again, Justice Haynes out, Rod Moore out, Bredson out.
Their leading tackler, Ernest Hausman, unknown.
Will probably
unknown
play.
What's going to happen. Well,
we'll say 50-50. We'll say 50-50.
I don't know. There's a lot of things kind of like circling around, like what's going on with him. I don't know the full details or whatever.
Me either. So let's just say 50-50. Jordan Marshall will probably play. Samaj Morgan will play. But it's a lot of injuries for them.
Mm-hmm.
This is why Ryan Day has been shortening games. Yeah, this is not a bad Michigan team.
It's not. Offense.
You talk about Bryce Underwood. I think Bryce Underwood is insanely talented. I think he's a lot of Ohio State fans like to make fun, crap on him, whatever. I think Bryce Underwood is insanely talented. I think if he ever gets a coach that teaches him how to accurately throw a ball that isn't on a rope, he'll be dangerous. Because when he's slinging the ball, and he can sling the ball, dude has a cannon for an arm. When he's slinging the ball, he's great. When he has to put a little touch on it or float it or do anything other than put a rocket booster up its ass, he struggles. I'll say also that Michigan has struggled as far as receiving is concerned all season, except for lately.
Look at who they played lately.
Well, I think Andrew Marsh is a true freshman who's come on recently. And yes, you can talk about the competition level for sure. But I think Andrew Marsh is legitimately very. He has looked really good the past few weeks. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely something to worry about for the next couple of years with
Ohio State's
Underwood
played better
and Marsh.
Receivers. Over the next few years, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Over the next few years, yeah. I don't think either of them are anything Ohio State can't handle this year. I'll also say this about Bryce Underwood: he holds the ball too much.
He does, yeah. So as long as our corners, our safeties can lock down the receivers and make them hold that ball for an extra second, I think that's going to be the difference maker right there, is getting, well, really, it's not the difference maker, but when passing, that's going to be huge.
I hope so, Esquire.
It's going to be huge for Ohio State. The difference maker is it's going to be just stopping Michigan running the ball. That's what it's to. They are number 10 in the country in rushing yards per game. 224 yards. That's a lot. That's a lot of yards in a football game, especially in today's age. And yet that's only number 10 in the country. And they're number 6 in rushing yards per rush. So whenever they are running, they're doing it really well. They're averaging a whole yard more per rush than Ohio State is.
Right. Just because I found the stat. They're middle of the road in the country as far as the number of sacks they give up. They are number 69. Nice. They give up a sack on almost 6% of their plays, and their offensive line's better than that. It's because Underwood holds the ball too much. Anything else you want to talk about in the Know Your Enemy section?
If you look at the defensive stats there, Jared, it's just so funny. Now, I'm just going to take just a screenshot and re-put it back on here, Jared. Just on the chat here. It's just amazing. Just take it in about how great this Ohio State defense has been here. Number 1, points per game, points per play, yards per game, yards per play, passing yards per game, passing yards per pass. And then number 3 in rushing yards per game and rushing yards per rush. Just an absolute unit of a unit.
Yeah.
And Michigan's really good too. 13th in points per game, 13th. They're like right there in the teens, or even 10 and 9 in a lot of the major stats here. So it's going to be, I really think this is going to be a defensive struggle unless Ohio State finds a way to break Michigan's defense here. I think I haven't looked at what the over-under is, but I'd probably take the under here. Yeah, 44.5 points. I'd take the under.
I'll say this. If you look at their passing yards per game, 45th in the country, rushing yards per game, 9th in the country. Trying to run on them for the sake of running on them, I think is a mistake. You got the best 2 wide receivers in the country. You have the best freshman quarterback in the country. Sling it. This is what we've been preparing for all year. Sling it. This is the Super Bowl. If we also win a national championship this year, great. Awesome. Happy. If we win the Big Ten this year, great. Awesome. Happy. But this is the Super Bowl this year.
All right. I think that's it. We'll go ahead and take our first ad break and get to more of this episode here, Jared. TheSloopcast.com is your link for anything and everything Sloopcast related. If you haven't checked us out recently, we have updated our website. So head on over to TheSloopcast.com for our updated website. All of the links are still there. Our Discord page, discord.thesloopcast, our graphic design section, or 7071, our merch store, our playlist, our music playlist, and our Patreon. And again, I will give a shout out to Z Spikes for upping his Patreon level. So thank you, Z Spikes, for continuing to support.
It would technically be one level up.
Yes. So you can find all those links and more over at thesloopcast.com. We'll take that ad break and be right back.
Esquire says, as far as what he thinks Ohio State's offense should do, a ton of quick hitters to the outside, set saying in rhythm, get the defense running laterally, get the ball in the hands of playmakers. Don't put too much on the offensive line.
I agree. I think you need to play to your strengths, and I agree, Jared. You need to and that was one thing that was so frustrating last year. And I understand why you said, Jared, to not force it, don't force the run and all that. But when Ohio State tried to run the ball last year, they did it right at Michigan's strength. It was like Ryan Day was trying to prove a point and say, "I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it right at your strength." When you run it, I think when you run it, you can not do it at their strength. You can bring it out wide, and I think Ohio State has had success with some of the zone read rushes. I think Bo Jackson has done an exceptional job with that, and Wes has come along as of recent as well, being able to extend the plays wide there, or of course getting it to your talented first round receivers, future first round receivers as well too.
Okay, can I before we move on, can I add one quick thing to the ad portion of the show? Check out our Tenor page, which is the service that does emojis, or not emojis, GIFs, and a lot of people's apps and keyboards and whatnot. So if you have an application that has a built-in GIF thing, search Sloopcast. You'll find some stuff. Or you can go to the Tenor page at gifs.thesloopcast.com. You can also find that link at thesloopcast.com. All right, that's it. I added a bunch of new stuff to there recently. That's it.
All right, Jared, let's kick us off with some Sloops here. So first off, Ohio State player to watch. Who do you think is the player to watch for Ohio State?
You have a lot of options on offense, especially if Tate plays. You got to win up front. Julian Sayin has to, return to form. I don't put his quote unquote struggles over the past couple weeks strictly on him. So that's not, but see the him that we saw more through October, in the beginning of November. A lot of things you can say on offense. But ultimately, if Ohio State wins this game, it's because the defense will keep doing what the defense has been doing all year. The offense will get its points. How pretty things will look getting those points, I don't know. How many points? Not totally sure. But if you want to win this game, you have to stop Michigan's running game. Period. I'm put it in, one guy on that defense was given the blocko. One guy on that defense is, well, not one guy in this case, but this one guy is a Columbus kid, Pickerington, more specifically, coming with that same fire that we saw from Jack Sawyer last year. That guy is Sonny Styles.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick, and I'm kind of thinking more of the same line of stopping the Michigan running attack. And who else than the man in the middle there, the man who is who has a finalist for the Outland Award here.
And if you're talking about who I think you're talking about, a guy who I've seen started to pop up in the first round of some mock drafts.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Caden McDonald.
Yeah.
Big body right in the middle. If he can just stuff that middle there, make Sonny Styles come up in easier, time for him to make those tackles.
Free up Sonny Styles. Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Or even Caleb Downs being able to come down and help out with the run stop as well too. I think Caden McDonald is going to have a monster game in being able to stop the run here.
I also think that you have a mobile quarterback in Bryce Underwood and Sonny Styles, along with Reese, of course. We'll probably be doing some spying this Saturday.
All right. Enemy player to watch, Jared.
Jordan Marshall. Period. With Haynes out, he's their premier running back. That's the guy you got to shut down.
Mm-hmm. I think that was going to be my pick as well too. I know I mentioned earlier that no matter what running back you put in there, I think the offensive line has done good no matter who's in there. But yeah, Marshall is a very talented running back, and this Michigan team will be successful depending on how well he's able to run the ball. Key matchup. Like defensive line for Ohio State and the offensive line for Michigan. It's that simple.
I'll say linebackers just to be different, but
sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Yeah.
All right, in the spread, 10.5 points was the line that CBS Pick'em put it. It is down to 9.5 now.
Okay. Kyle,
on
you shocked
Thursday's
me.
episode. Yeah, on Thursday's episode.
This is Thursday's episode.
Yep. Jared did pick the Buckeyes to win and cover, and I picked the Buckeyes to win but not cover. And I have.
Shock. I was shocked. I was floored.
Have
you ever heard me in stunned silence on this show in 10 years?
Okay.
Because that's where I was at. Stunned silence.
I have Ohio State winning 21, Michigan 13.
Yeah. No. I got it 31-10, and that touchdown comes late. That's a backup. It is a second string defensive touchdown. Not, you know what I mean. A second string.
Make up for that one that should have counted last weekend.
No. I said defensive touchdown. No. A touchdown against the second string defense.
Okay.
Is what I meant.
Gotcha.
Again, kind of like you saw last week. It's just like, yeah, Michigan he puts together a decent drive, gets a field goal. By the way, their kicker, who is excellent, has been struggling recently. Watch if that comes into play on Saturday.
Yeah, especially that Northwestern game. Yeah, and I know that I was in Chicago, and Chicago being the windy city, sure, but...
And one of the ones in Chicago was from 60 yards out. But the other one was a chip shot.
It was a chip shot, yeah.
And he's maybe had his confidence shaken a tad bit since then, as he's not looked great since then.
Sure. And our guest picker, Sun Card, picked the Buckeyes 35-14. All right, Jared.
Only way I see them getting 14 points is if they break a long run and the second touchdown happens like against the second string defense. Their first string offense is not getting in the end zone twice against Ohio State's first string offense. I will say that. I will die on that hill.
I mean, how many times has that happened?
I don't care how many times it's happened. These two teams, I'm a Signetti you right now. These two teams have never played before.
That was a point I was trying to make, though.
Oh, sorry.
It's only happened once that a team has scored 2 touchdowns on the first team defense.
Illinois.
Penn State. Penn State scored 14 points in the first half.
That's right.
Illinois.
Their second touchdown came against the second stringers.
Yeah, it was like with 4 minutes left in the game.
Yeah. Kind of crazy considering Penn State sucks.
Yeah. All right, Jared. Ready to do some Austin over-unders?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Over-unders for the game. All right, first off is Teton rushing yards for the game at 128 yards. I would say that they have not... Yeah, and a half. They have not even come close to that low since they've only rushed at 91 yards back in 2019. So it's been a long time.
So you're saying they haven't hit the under on that number. Sorry for rhyming.
Yeah.
Since 2019.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let me ask you this. Has Ohio State given up 128 yards rushing this season?
Oh, I don't know if I can quickly
that's a big ask.
pull
That's a big ask. That's a big ask. Don't worry about it.
But I mean, I will say like Ohio State's only averaging 78 yards per game on the ground. Michigan's 94 yards on the ground too.
Defensively. Yeah. Offensively, Michigan is getting basically 224.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be 100 yards off of their average, roughly.
How many yards were you saying, Jared? 128?
Yeah.
They did it. Texas rushed it for more. That might be it. that honestly might be it there because no other
Texas running that well. Not that 128 is a lot.
Yeah, they rushed it for 166 yards. They had some big plays from time to time.
I'm gonna go over on this. Mostly because I don't think they're going to get anything done through the air.
They only let up more than 100 yards once all year.
I'm gonna go over on this.
Same.
I've just the chance that Michigan breaks a really long one just feels a little too high. And when I say really long, I don't necessarily mean like 80 yards, but like 40, 50. But yeah, it just would make hitting the under on that very difficult. So I'm going to go over on this one.
Yeah. I agree. All right. Next up is Julian Sand and Underwood total touchdowns at 3.5. I'm going under.
And of course we're including, of course.
Total touchdowns.
Including,
rushing. Yep.
So the fact the likelihood that Underwood gets a rushing touchdown is decent. And it just, I'm going to go over. I think Sayan has a day. I think it's totally plausible that Sayan has 4 touchdowns or that Sayan has 3 and Underwood has like a goal line sneak or something to get into the end zone, or even like a decent goal line run on like a read option or something. Feels too plausible to me. I'm going to go over.
Yeah, I'm going. Yep, under for me. And you said over?
I did.
Okay. All right. JJ and Claire receiving yards combined at 121.5.
Over. Hit the over. Smash the over. Keep hitting the over until the button breaks.
That's what I want. I want to see Julian. Or not Julian. Yeah, I want to see Julian Sand and Jeremiah have a career game, but I'm going under.
You're high. Smith gets this by himself. Okay. Having Claire is just a nice little bonus.
All right, McCauley catches.
Kyle, you're playing
Yeah.
scared right now. I want you to know you're playing scared right now.
I'm being realistic. 4.5
Nah,
for
you're
Macaulay
playing scared.
catches.
That feels like a lot. Oh, yeah, that feels like a lot. He's only had 32 all year.
Second on the team.
Yeah, second on the team. First on the team is Andrew Marsh, who's only been getting serious time for like the past month.
4.5. He's only hit that over once.
Yeah, 30 over it's over 10, 11 games. 32.
He's due for pretty much about 3 catches a game. Like I'm seeing a lot of 3s throughout the year here. So I think that's a good number.
I think it's a big number. I'm going under.
All right, me too. I'll go under. All right, Reese and Curry combined impact plays, sacks, tackle for losses, fumbles, interceptions, all that good stuff. 3.5. Reese and Curry. Oof.
I think it's totally plausible you get like 2 sacks. Again, Underwood holds the ball too much. Out of those 2 players, it's plausible. It's plausible you get like 2 sacks, but more likely you get 1. So then you need 2 more. Well, I know you need 3 more to hit the over. You could probably get a TFL out of each of them. So there's 2 more. So you still need another impact play. It's I don't know, big players in big games. Give me the over.
I'll go over as well. All right, and T-Ton.
Yeah, this one's funny.
T-Ton total yards in the fourth quarter. Just the fourth quarter.
Yeah. This one's funny.
97.5 yards in the fourth quarter.
This one's funny because if they hit the over on this, it's bad news for Ohio State.
Very bad. So I got to pick under. I've got to pick under.
Well, let me explain why. I understand that you understand, but we're podcasting here. This is very bad news for Ohio State if they hit the over here. Now, I get that Ohio State has typically given up the most yards they give up in the fourth quarter. Again, because the backup defense is frequently in.
Yes.
If Underwood, if Michigan's behind, that means Michigan is throwing, which is not the best Michigan. If Michigan is up, they are running, and that is the best Michigan. I don't know that Underwood can effectively throw the ball like that, even against the backup defense, not with the talent currently around him. I think Ohio State can take Andrew Marsh out of the game, leaving the other guys, which isn't good news for Underwood to have to rely on the other guys.
So what you got, Jared?
I'm going to go under.
Okay. All right. And we have, making sure I didn't miss one. Nope, I didn't. All right. All right. And the last one here, Styles and Downs combined tackles at 14.5. I mean, we talked about it you had Styles as your player to watch, and I had McDonald, but you had Styles and Downs there to clean up as well too.
Yeah,
man, it is 14.5. I almost think that's a good thing. That means they're running right at them, and Styles and Downs are making plays right at them. Then
it's a good news if it's Styles getting it. If Downs gets too many of these, it means that their running backs are getting to the third level. But maybe not. Styles might play up a decent amount in this game. But with the amount that Michigan's going to run the ball and Styles being... Is he the leading tackler on the team? He must be, right?
Styles is, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go over.
I'm just going to... I'll go over. I'm going to go over as well. All right.
Only
that is
two
our
differences.
Hey, we're tied.
Ooh.
We are tied.
We could still be tied.
We still could be tied, yes.
We differ on saying plus Underwood touchdowns over under 3.5, where I went over and you went under, and on Smith plus Claire receiving yards, where I went over 121.5 and you went under 121.5.
Yep.
I'm getting you on that second one for sure. That first one, that could go either way. That second one, that's mine.
All right. All right, cool. That is our long episode here of the game. Know your enemy.
Long. We've done worse.
Yeah, I know.
It's Michigan week.
Worse.
It's Michigan week. It's worth it. It's worth every second of it. That being said, though, Kyle, do you have anything in Kyle's corner?
No, because I kind of used my one stat already here. I'll just end it with a quote that Ryan Day said in his presser earlier today as we were recording, Jared.
Yeah.
He says, "Just win. Fun is kicking ass. Have fun. let's have fun and kick ass."
Having fun is kicking ass.
Yeah. Well, he says fun is kicking ass is what he said.
Fun is kicking ass. It's very Roadhouse. It's very 80s action movie.
Relaxed. He was very relaxed.
I'm telling you,
presser.
The rosy-cheeked assassin is back. I'm telling you right now. He's not playing scared, unlike somebody I know.
I'm not playing scared.
You're playing scared.
I have full confidence that Ryan Day is going to win this. That Ohio State's going to win this.
Mm-hmm.
Full confidence.
Who don't you have confidence in? You think Ohio State's going to score a meager 21 points?
We'll see. I hope I'm wrong.
Okay. All right, that's it. That's the end of today's show. Tonight's ending music will be 2 Cow Garage. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, this is 2 Cow Garage.